Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Tuesday, January 14th, 2020. We again find ourselves in the final hour of the trading day. I mention it each day, but I think it's worth repeating because I think it's important and helpful. But I am primarily an end-of-day trader, meaning that I make the majority of my buying and selling decisions right at the close of the day, as close as I can get to the close of the day. And the reason that I do that is because during the day, you have the day traders, you have the algorithms moving prices around. I consider it a lot of noise. During the end of the day, the large financial institutions, the market makers come in with size and start moving the price at the end of the day. And I would rather follow their coattails than all the noise during the regular part of the day. That is why I just think it's the best time to make your buying and selling decisions on the coattails of the big money coming in at the day. So anyway, listen, thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate it as always. I appreciate you investing your time here. I hope it is helping with your trading and your investing, that you're getting some kind of return on investment. So always look forward to seeing everyone. Appreciate you being here. So let's take a look. JT is here. Hey, good to see you, JT. Nice to have you. Thank you so much for coming. Stephen Burns. Man, thank you so much, Steve, for coming. Always an honor, privilege to have you here. Really is. And I'm always excited to see you in there. And I know everyone else is, to be able to kind of rub shoulders with Steve. So thank you so much, Steve. Steve says, hi there. It's Holly. Oh, it's Holly. Hey, hey, hey. How you doing? Good to see you. Holly and I have had a couple messages back and forth, but it's an honor to have you here as well. Holly is co-author on several of Stephen's books, so that's a powerhouse trading couple between Steve and Holly. But holding down the fort for Steve until he gets back from an errand. Oh, fantastic. Great to have you here, Holly. Thank you so much, and I hope the doggies are doing well, the German Shepherd and the rest of your puppies. And she says, hi, Katie. Hey, Katie, Holly says hi. Tell her hi, Daddy. Okay, she says hi. Hey, Marco. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for coming. That's our friend Marco from Slovenia in Europe. Hope you're having a nice evening. Hey, Mount Doji, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you here as always. Hope you're having a good day. Gamer Squad, hey, what's going on, Gamer? Good to see you. That's David from Denver. And Marco says, hey, Holly. That's right. That's right. This is great to have Holly here. This is the first time. Toby Petty. Hey, what's going on, Toby? Nice to see you. Always nice to have you here. Thank you so much. So, listen, interesting day today. We were in triple digits. We were green across the board. Then there was some news that came out that said China is going to keep the tariffs. Don't quote me on this, not exactly, because I just looked at the headline, but it looks like they're going to keep some tariffs in place through the 2020 election. Of course, the market did not like that so much. Dow is still positive, up 48 points. NASDAQ is down 12 points, and S&P is down 3 points. So not a huge down day on the day, but compared to where we were, it was quite a quick sell-off. I was actually on the phone and I was looking at the charts when it happened, and man, I mean, it was just boom, big move down. Just goes to show you how quickly the market reacts. So anyway, that being said, here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Then we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at all my current positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. Then several of you have current trades on that I've put on the charts here and marked down the entry price and the date. And so we're going to go through and take a look at those. A lot of nice trades going up for the viewers. And I'll go through each one of them. So I'm always excited. I get up and I look at my positions and I look at everyone from the group's positions too. I'm like, oh, good. Like actually today I've had 2 small losing trades, but at least I was happy for the fact that we've had some big moves here from some of the viewers. So I'll get to those. After that, we're going to talk about trader psychology. In my opinion, most important skill you can develop in trading. It's important to learn how to trade, identify technicals, support, resistance, all this kind of stuff, entries, exits. That is important for sure. But You can be the best chartist in the world. You can be the best technical analyst in the world, put together the best trading plan. But if you can't follow it, you've got a problem, right? You have got a problem, and you need to work on that skill. Think about it like as it's a skill that you need to develop. If you find yourself, being tempted and wanting to put this trade on, I don't know, either for entertainment or because you have some opinion in your head, you're going to have problems with trading. Trust me, I've done this for so long. I've been through it all. So, whatever it takes, just position size a little smaller. It will decrease the amplification on your emotions. See, it's your emotions that get you not following your plan. Or listen, get your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend or friend, tell them about your trading plan. Let them be your risk manager, and then you have someone that you're accountable to. All right, you get an accountability buddy. I know it sounds funny, but I'll tell you what, in 2018, I actually hired a friend of mine. I taught him, I coached him up. We spent about a month teaching him how I trade, what to look for, what I'm supposed to do. And I paid him every month because, even though I know how to trade, I have good discipline, I know that my biggest enemy is going to be myself, to possibly self-sabotage myself. It happens all the time. So that is why I hired somebody for the entire year. They were on with me during the last hour of the day. They could see if I made any illegal trades, right? And I'll tell you what, I more than recouped my money by paying him to do that. And I've actually had a couple people reach out to me and go, hey, how do I get a person like that? Well, you gotta find someone that find someone that you trust, coach them up on how you're trading, what the rules are. But I did this in real time for a year, and it made a big difference, especially this was in 2018. I would have got possibly clobbered in the last quarter if I hadn't had somebody going, right? So where was I going with that? Okay, so trading psychology is very important. So we're going to do a few minutes on trader psychology as always, because I think it's very important, and that's why I try to beat you over the head with it every day. But it is with love because it's so important. After that, we're going to go through my watch list. We're going to look at each stock one by one. We're going to analyze support, resistance levels, indicators such as MACD and RSI, moving averages, ATR channels. I have 3 requirements for getting in a trade. 1, I like to see a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up. I look at each indicator as a group of buyers. If I can find 2 or 3 or 4 indicators lining up at the same time, then I have the potential for 2 or 3 or 4 different groups of buyers lining up. And if you want to have a profitable trade, put yourself in the best position to have a possible profitable trade, you want to be in the company as many other buyers as possible. And looking for a confluence of or a combination of indicators or / group of buyers will help you do that. So that's step 1. Step 2, need to make sure that I have a good risk to reward ratio based upon some kind of valid resistance above me and some kind of valid support below me. So I prefer to have at least a minimum of a 2-to-1 risk to reward. So if I'm risking $100, I want to be able to make potential $200 on that at the very minimum. So that's step 2. Step 3, just make sure you don't have too many correlated positions. You don't want 5 tech stocks. You don't want 5 gold stocks, right? I mean, you want to have some diversification in the type of positions that you hold. I was just listening to a interview by Ray Dalio, and Ray Dalio is the diversification king. I think he trades 300 different products, 300 different securities in different type of markets, because he's such a huge proponent of diversification in his portfolio. So that's it. Step 1, look for a confluence or combination of indicators lining up at the same time, same price. Step 2, make sure you have a good risk to reward ratio. Step 3, make sure you have diversification and you're not too heavily invested in one particular sector in the market. So we're going to go down through each stock. We're going to look for those 3 requirements. If I find something at the end of the day that meets those requirements, I'll go ahead and place the order in the last few minutes of the day. After the market closes, if you have any questions, please feel free, type them in. I'm happy to answer them, clarify them. If you want me to take a look at any particular stock symbols, I'm happy to give you my humble opinion and break those down for you. If you see some some chart symbols that you would like, that you think would be important or helpful for this group, and you'd like to get my opinion before the market closes, please just go ahead, type it in, put a little star by it or something like that, so I know that it's time sensitive. Okay, so that's the plan. Sound good? I think it sounds pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. So hang tight, please. Thanks so much. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Forgot what I was doing. Okay, let's see. Grant's here. Hi, Grant. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. JT says, how do you manage your holding when you go on vacation? Do you close them, place a trailing stop? JT, you hit a sore spot with me on that. Not anything to do with you. JT, I never go on vacation. That's the thing. I don't think I've been on vacation in like 10 years. So this mythical thing you talk about, going on vacation and how do you manage them, I don't know, because I don't go on vacation, honestly. But I think, of course it depends what kind of trades you have, JT. I mean, if they're longer term position trends or trend trades, then of course, you might be able to just take a look real quick at a chart each day on your phone or on the computer. But if it's more active trading, honestly, I think if you're swing trading and you kind of have to be around it, I honestly would just close those positions, go on there and just enjoy your vacation, because you're going to be checking quotes every time. You're going to be thinking about it. You're going to be looking at after hours, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. So, it depends what kind of trades. If it's a longer term trend trade, then, just a quick glance at it's probably all you need. But if you're trading shorter term swing trading, me personally, the way I trade, I would just close my positions if I went on vacation. So anyway, I hope you do go on vacation. Take a little vacation for me too as well, JT. All right, JT. Grant says, Greg, I know you only trade at the end of the day for very good reasons. The open also seems to be important time. When you see any what you see any value in trader only trading the open and the close of the day? Well, those are the two times of the day where there's a lot of volume and a lot of action. There are certainly some traders, open traders, that do very, very well. But I think you need some kind of plan or strategy for that. I don't really have that because I don't trade the open, because one, I don't like to get up, and that's why I don't trade the open. That gets back to, trading what your personality is or approach. But I know there's probably some good approaches to the first of the day trading, and of course there's approaches to use at the close of the day trading. There's kind of a thought out there that amateurs trade the open and professionals trade the closes, which I think is somewhat true, although I'm sure there's a lot of professionals that do also trade the open. But I think they're okay just as long as you have a plan, either in the morning and in the day. But during the middle of the day, I would definitely stay away. Mount Doji says, Disney is having quite a day. Yes, it is. Disney is on my radar today, Mount Doji. I saw on Twitter you had it on your radar as well. Dr. Long, hey, good to see you. Nice having you. Let's see. Dr. Long says, hi, Greg and all. Hello, Dr. Long. Holly says, FOMO is a bad one to deal with for sure. Definitely for sure. And I have done my utmost to stay away from FOMO during this up move. I've missed a lot of trades, unfortunately, but I can always sit back and go, all right, Greg, you followed your plan. You didn't succumb to FOMO, and I can be happy for myself and proud for myself. And, I'm trying to set a good example here for everyone to, watching me trade using my filters, not taking trades if my filter does not allow for it. And in this kind of market, it's kind of ran away from me, unfortunately. But it's okay. I know that with some of these trades, if I took them 100 times, if I took them at these levels, I would probably lose 60 or 70% of the time, or higher. In this particular case, it's kind of an anomaly, and it's gone up. So yeah, FOMO is difficult to fight. It's fear of missing out. So anyway, I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm content to see you guys having a nice move up, and I'll just sit here with my little position until I get something that I can feel good about trading. Hi, Christopher. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Ryan D. Hey, how you doing? How do you guys like Disney? I do like Disney today, actually, Ryan, and I'm going to go through this in a bit and talk about Disney, but I do like vacation. Mount Doji says, I closed my position when I was on vacation. Oh, good. Good for you, Mount Doji. Then you could enjoy your vacation. I was going to say, what's a vacation? Exactly right. Actually, I think the last time I went vacation, it was 12 years ago. I went to the British Virgin Islands. Yeah, it was awesome. Seemed like a lifetime ago. Dr. Long says there was a with VIX on interactive, so I bought the VIX options, SPX puts, and sold the market. I feel I could be very early because I'm trying to stop in VIX. All in all, I'm short this market in a pretty low risky way. Okay, good. I mean, it's one of those things, right? I mean, the market goes up, you feel like you should short it, and then it goes down, and you're like, oh, I should have shorted it. But in this kind of market, I mean, look at people in Beyond Meat, look at people in Tesla that have just got decimated trying to be short. So, but as long as you have a plan to be short and it's low risk, then great, you have a plan. Oh, there was a problem with VIX on IBKR. Alan, hello everybody. Good to see Alan. Nice to have you here. Dr. Long says, Grant says, LOL. Thanks, Greg. Dr. Long says, trying to buy sell stops in VIX below 1350. Only got to 1351. Yeah, I've been watching VIX pretty carefully today as well. Christopher says, regarding FOMO, there will always be another trade. 100%. Bus comes around every hour, right? Mount Dochi says, I love the BVIs. I went 2 years ago. Yeah, it was great, man. It was so fun. Hey, Claudia. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Claudia says, hi, Greg and everyone. Always here listening to your awesome content. I've learned a lot from you. There's no more chasing for me since I started listening to you. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Have you been better with your discipline, Claudia? I think about you. And hope that you are. So, all right. Well, listen, let's get to it. First on deck, world famous overnight SPY trade. I do buy the SPY each day at the close of the day, right before the close, sell it first thing the next morning. It has nothing to do with technicals, levels, support, resistance, indicators, anything. It just has to do with the results of a long-term back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders from 1993. She did this test with two approaches. Approach number one, buy the SPY each day at the open, sell it each day at the close. So if you bought the open, sold the close, bought the open, sold the close. If you did this every day since 1993, you'd have returned a negative 13.9% return for all your troubles. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, I buy the SPY at the close each day instead of the open. So I buy the SPY each day at the close. I sell first thing the next morning. So buy the close, sell the next morning, buy the close, sell the next morning. If you would have used this approach, you would have returned 634.2% return compared to doing the opposite of a negative 13.9% return. So this clearly had superior results. Here's the chart. The blue is the buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. The orange is the buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. Clear difference, not just an anomaly. Over years, it has had it has had an edge. So past performance is no guarantee of future results. Of course, we know that. I love this chart. It shows you what can happen if you have an edge and you play it over and over and over again. You can really see how it can add up. There's a lot of dips. There's ups and downs and ups and downs. Nothing goes straight up. This is totally normal. So you do have to position size correctly so that if you do go through a drawdown, you don't have too many emotions that's going to freak you out, right? That's why it's very important. Position sizing is so important. So anyway, that is why I do buy the SPY each day at the close, sell it at the open. Yesterday, I did buy it at 327.95 and it gapped down this morning and I got out at 327.51. So lost about 40 something cents. Although we have had a nice few days. Back here, we bought here at the open, sold, bought here at the close, sold the open, bought here, sold the open, bought here, sold the open, bought here, had the negative open. But I got pretty beat up at the beginning of the year here when we had the Iran stuff going on. So, you know, in 2019, it was straight up. I did very, very well with this. This has been a little rocky, but that's okay. I showed you the chart, right? There's ups and downs for sure. So, anyway, I will be buying this again today at the end of the day, and I'll sell it first thing tomorrow morning. My only other position I have here, like I said, I was very light. I did buy utilities, XLU ETF utilities. I bought this back on the 9th. Reason I bought it, I like the context of this chart. We made a high, we came down into the value zone, we made a lower high. If we come into the value zone, make a lower high, then I have to wash out the previous low. It did that. It moved sideways in the value zone. I was looking for a V2 here, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2 washes out day 1, but day 3 did not close above day 1's close, so I didn't have a valid trigger, but the next day I did. We painted this triangle here. Basically what happened here is we had a V1 to the downside. Here's the high, we washed it out, we came back down, we closed below. That is bearish, but if you can get a bearish signal that immediately reverses back up into a bullish signal, that's why I took it. So far, done pretty well. Bought it here, 64.22, was up a couple days, hit a couple profit targets yesterday. Today was higher earlier, now it has closed lower. It has moved more than one ATR away from my entry, so I will institute some kind of trailing stop, which would be a close below the previous day's low, maybe a close below the 5-day EMA, something like that. But so far, so good, and I'm going to hold it. But that is all I have on deck. Let's take a look at some other people's trades. Bing He. Bing He's been on a tear lately. I'm so glad. Bing He bought TSE yesterday, 35.85, was under 30, over 30, down here near the negative third ATR channel. Look at this today, up 2.31% for Bing He. So very, very nice, Bing He. Great, great, great to see you have some nice trades lately. If this were me, I would be looking to see if it rejected the 30 RSI. So that's Bing He. A Man Solo, look at this, guys. Man Solo bought FedEx back here on the 31st of December, higher low V1. Here's day 1, day 2 washes out day 1, closes above day 1's close, and it's a higher low. Did he know it was going to go up? Of course not. But did it give him a good risk to reward? Yes. If he was wrong, he'd probably get out with the close below halfway of this day, the washout bar. If he's right, he might be fortunate enough to have something like this happen. There was some news today that Amazon's allowing FedEx for their sellers. That's what moved this up today. So interesting here. A couple red flags. We did reject the third ATR channel, which is a bit of a red flag. We are still holding above the 200-day moving average. So anyway, not sure how Man Solo is going to handle that, but that's a fantastic trade. I think it's close to 7%. Is it? Yeah, 7.2%. So fantastic, Man Solo. But you know, watch and see how it's reacting around that 200-day. If it closed below the 200-day, that might be something, a little bit of a concern. All right, CarMax. So Alan Did buy CarMax back here on the 2nd of January. He bought it with this close above the 5-day moving average and the under 30, over 30. Went against him, but did hold the 30 RSI. He stuck it out, and look at this today. Beautiful. So he's in the money on this. MACD went positive. So very, very nice. Congratulations, Alan. I know Steve Burns has this as well. Bing He, another winner for Bing He. He did buy IRDM back here on the 9th of January. Beautiful setup. Hope everybody can just kind of instill this setup. We're above the value zone. We come into the value zone. We rally. See, there's no sideways movement. A lot of times you'll come into the value zone. If you don't have any sideways movement, you'll rally, but then you'll make this lower high. If we make a lower high, then I have to wash out the previous low before I can get back involved. Well, this is what happened the day before. And then he took the trade here, 24.94 on this nice V2. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2, washes out day 1, day 3, closes above day 1, and look at this beautiful trade. Boom, 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 boom. Much higher earlier today. I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. Let's take a look and see how high this got intraday. Yeah, it got to 70. It got to 70 and rejected it. Me personally, I'm not telling Bing He what to do, but I'm just saying me personally, this would be my clue to get out of the trade because it rejected the 70 RSI. Bing He with another winner back here, under the 200, back over the 200, a bit of a V1, rejection of the third ATR channel, put himself in a great position right over the 200. If he was wrong, close under 200, he's out for small loss. If he's right, he could have the potential for a nice reward, and this is what he has had. So congratulations there. Man Solo bought this under 200, back over 200 with the V2. It is up. It's moved up. Slightly down today, so not sure how Man Solo is going to manage that, but I'm sure he'll do a great job of it. Gamer Squad bought Roku yesterday on this nice V1 rejection of the 1 ATR channel, negative 1 ATR channel. It was up earlier nicely, then kind of got rejected on the bad news on the China tariffs news. Let's see how high it got today at the high. 48.91, so it did get close. It did get close to that 50 and did reject the 10 and the 100. Looks like he's about even at the moment. So let me know what you're going to do with that. And then VIX, Dr. Long has been starting to take some just kind of nibble at the VIX on the way down. He did buy some here at 1471. A couple days later, he bought some at 1405. Today, we did bounce off. We went under 30 and over 30, and we rejected the negative third ATR channel. So I'm somewhat interested in buying VIX today as well. So that looks like about it. Great moves, great trades, guys. This is Steve. Looks like Holly hacked my account. That was great to have Holly here, Steve, and it's good seeing you, buddy. Looks like I will be locking in my Beyond profits today. Wow, guys, this is the trade of the year. Look at this trade, everybody. He bought this with the 520 EMA crossover. Just went skyrocketing up. Today, very bearish bar. I was kind of figuring he probably would lock that in, but look at this, guys. That is a 38.55% return in 5 days. He used the 10% position size. That means he made a total of 3.85% in total in his account. Can you imagine? In 4 days like this with only risking 10%? Unbelievable trade, Steve. Unbelievable trade. This is one for the ages. Claudia says, thank you, Greg. I'm being extremely disciplined. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Claudia. Frank says, the market is... Oh, here comes a poem from Frank. My favorite part. Wish I was a better poem reader, though. Let's see. Oops. Okay. The market is deep. The market is deep as the sea, and the forest with trees can be so hard to see. For profits we wish, but first we must fish. And just to be blunt, it's also a hunt. Things a trader must confront. Good stuff. Good stuff, Frank. Man, I'm so amazed that Frank can just put these out. I couldn't write a poem if you paid me $1 million. Wow, good stuff, bud. Hope it's okay if I can share it on Twitter, because this is really good. People like it on Twitter too, I'm telling you. Alan says, I ran out of KMX shares today. Oh, you're phasing out and you ran out? All right. Very nice, my friend. So I'm going to take CarMax off the board there, give us some room. IBB is on my radar too. Oh, is it? Okay, I'll take a look at that as well. Murray, hey buddy, what's going on? Thanks for the email and the interesting information on those short squeezes. Thank you so much, bud. Dr. Long says, I bought VIX calls today, 90% total position, but not all in VIX. Also bought XP at puts. Okay. So everything kind of to the downside. All right. So how are we doing on time? All right, so listen, everybody, this is the time of the day where I do like to talk about trader psychology, some good trading wisdom, some good words of wisdom for trading, anything that could be helpful to the group. And there's a lot of good Twitter channels out there, Facebook channels that put effort every day into putting out these good sayings to help us. And I really do appreciate it. There's some great channels out there. And it's nice of him to do it, right? One of the best ones for sure is my friend Thomas Payne at Trader T Payne. Some of the best sayings you'll ever read. And this one really resonated with me, everyone, because it's personal to me. But Thomas says, trading will beat you to the ground and make you feel like quitting. That's for sure. Instead of using the beatings as an excuse to quit, look in the mirror and study why you lost. The best traders have suffered heartbreaking losses, but they use it as fuel to transform themselves, not quit. And this is so true. When I was young, I first started trading. I was trading with a lot of money. I was young, not very smart, not very experienced, and boy, did I lose a lot of money. Horrible, horrible. Horrible. It was so bad that I went and I walked the coast of Oregon one summer with my dog. Just walked down the coast. Took me about 3 months. And I really had to take a hard look at myself and go, what have I done wrong? Well, of course, now that I look back, I'm just horrified what I did. Just horrified. But I took that walk because I had to decide, am I going to stop trading or am I going to stop fooling around and really start to learn how to trade? I was right on the fence. And I decided, no, I hadn't really quit anything in my life. And I said, I'm going to learn how to do this. I started reading. I started hiring coaches. I started hiring mentors. I mean, I had a huge desire to not go through what I went through, not knowing what to do. And as a result, 24 years later, this is why I have this channel, because I wish there would have been some kind of channel like that back when I was around. Whether I would have listened or not, without having to lose a lot of money, that did it. But whether I would have listened before, that's, the jury's out on that. But, if you're not doing well in trading and you're thinking about quitting, you can either quit or you can take that energy, like he says, and instead of using the beating that you've taken as an excuse to quit, look in the mirror and study why you lost. The best traders have suffered heartbreaking losses, but they use it as fuel to transform themselves, not quit. And that's what I did. But I really wanted it. I really wanted it. I really had to change my ways, and I did. So thank you so much, Thomas. I think it's such a great, great post, and I hope this is helpful to everyone. Okay. Frank says, is it okay to say me too on Beyond Meat trade? Did you have the Beyond Meat trade, Frank? Hoping that you say yes. Murray, the best poets become best poets often on some miserable times. I hope Frank didn't go through very difficult trading experience to be able to write such good poems. Oh, I know. It's true, Murray. Yeah, I hope Frank didn't have to go through such bad times to write such great prose, right? Hopefully he didn't. Hopefully he's just good at writing poems. Christopher says, that quote by Thomas is just beautiful. I've been there a few times. I find I learn from my losing trades. 100%, Christopher. Isn't that a great post? It is so great, and it's so hit home with me. So, if you guys, if this resonates with you, realize that you're doing something probably wrong. Stand naked in front of the mirror, figuratively, and say, what am I doing wrong? How do I have to change my behavior in order to do this? And use that as motivation. Oh, great, Frank. So glad to hear that. Christopher says, the more you learn, the more you earn. Very good. The more you earn. Right. All right. Well, let's get to it, shall we? What are we down? Oh, so the Dow's only up 10 points now. NASDAQ's down 20. S&P's down 6. All right, here we go. Apple. Did you guys ever watch Wild Wild Kingdom, or remember that show where the wildlife biologists would go out and they'd look at strange species in the wild? Well, here's Apple with down today. This is like spotting a rare creature out in the wild. Look at this. Very rare to see Apple down. I'm so not used to seeing Apple negative on the day. So this is like seeing a rare creature out in the wild. So down today, down about 1%, down 3.73 points. You know me, I've been waiting for Apple to come into some kind of reasonable level. I consider anything above the 1 ATR channel overvalued inside the green line and this green line. This is in value. Anything undervalued. I like to buy things at value, undervalue, not overvalue. So I have to wait for a pullback. Adobe hanging in there. Same thing though. Above the 3rd ATR channel. Need to wait for a price to come back into the value zone before I can get interested. Amazon quite down quite a lot today, but I was talking about waiting for it to come back into the value zone. It does come back. It always comes back, right? So buying up here, maybe not such a good. Now we've poked our head into the value zone. Now, okay, now it's starting to get interesting. So if we can come down a little further, and then stop going down, have a couple of sideways days. Right down here is really my sweet spot. A bounce off the 200-day or a close under the 200, back over the 200, inside the value zone is where I'm looking to buy Amazon. So I'll just have to be patient until it gets down in here. Boeing is interesting today. We were under the value zone. We came into the value zone. We came down. We made a lower high. If you make a lower high, you have to wash out the previous low. It washed it out here. Washed it out here. Nice V1 today. We did reject the 20 EMA. Did we get up to the 50 EMA? No, we did not. So MACD is positive. This looks decent. Does it mean it's going to go up? No, I have no idea if it's going to go up or not, but it does put me in a pretty good position to have a big up move if I'm right. Although that 50 is going to act like resistance there. I do like the MACD being positive. I do like there being negative news on Boeing today and recently, and it going up today. So I'll mark that for possibility. Berkshire Hathaway waiting to come back in the value zone. We're in the value zone. I need some sideways movement. Here's Beyond Meat. This is the wonderful trade that Steve had with the 520 crossover. Excellent, unbelievable trade. Boy, I would love to have a trade like this one day in my life. That would be great. So I think Steve's exiting here because of this reversal bar here, close being lower than the open, so forth and so on. So, wow, how much higher was this thing today? This was another 15% higher today. Unbelievable. Wow. So anyway, can't do anything here, but congratulations, Steve. And who else had this? Frank has it. JT sold it yesterday, and I can't remember. Sorry. I know someone else had it. Caterpillar. Okay, well, we were above the value zone. We came into the value zone. But it's good. It's here. It's moving sideways, but I need some kind of V1 or V2. Dow Jones, almost pegged the third ATR channel, came back. I need to pull back into value before I get interested in this. Disney. So you guys know I've been very, very patient waiting on Disney, right? I've been very, very patient. And I said here on this big day we had up here, I said, look, if we can get back down to the halfway mark, this should hold some support, extending it forward. Well, look at that. Look at that, everybody. Almost to the penny is where it held. And yesterday we went under the 200-day. Today we are over, I'm sorry, not the 200, the 50. So we were under the 50, over the 50. We had, of course, a beautiful V1 here. Huge, day one, day two, washes out day one. Close above day one's close and close above the 50-day moving average. Close back into the value zone. Washed out this previous low. If I don't buy this and a bullish engulfing, if I don't buy this, I don't know what I could possibly buy, right? Although it is a 49.89 now. Ugh, this makes it a little bit tougher. Halfway of this bar dovetails nicely with this 50-day moving average. Now it's back to 50. So we'll see. This is definitely on my radar. Etsy, Steve had a beautiful trade on Etsy with the 1050 crossover. I think over here, maybe here or here. And this has been a beautiful trade for Steve. Looks like it got close to rejecting the 100-day moving average at a 70.32 RSI now. So I imagine Steve will be watching this pretty closely to see whether or not this can stay over 70 RSI or not. So be interesting to see what happens there. Facebook, just too high, need a pullback. Gold, nothing here today. I needed to pull back into the value zone or have a 520 EMA cross under, then back over. We took that exact trade back here on the 13th of December when the 5 crossed over the 20. It happened right in the value zone. We had a great trade on this. I phased out, exited here because I ran out of shares, but waiting for that pullback. Google down today, very, very strong. Need to pull back into value. Goldman Sachs was up much higher earlier, very, very strong. Got up here, moved sideways, and then broke higher here. Need a pullback there. Home Depot above the 1 ATR channel. Remember, I needed to come back into the value zone, move sideways. Okay, Mount Doji, I feel you. So here we were above the value zone, came under the value zone. Now we rally back up. We've had 2 days down. Looking at a V2 here. So this one is definitely interesting as well. So we'll look at that at the end of the day. Intel just moving sideways, nothing there. IWM, false breakout to the upside. See how earlier today we broke above, then closed below, so nothing there. How are we doing on time? CarMax, Johnson & Johnson. Doing pretty well here, but nothing for me. CarMax, of course, we looked at that earlier. Steve has that, and that's right. He just told me he got out. Okay, Coca-Cola, strong here. Need to pull back into value. Lockheed Martin, very strong. Need to pull back into value. MasterCard, look at that today. Big bearish engulfing candle to the downside, lost the 70 RSI and lost the third ATR channel. This is quite bearish. I'm not going to short this, but this is quite bearish. McDonald's is just too high here. I'd like to see a pullback into value. Merck is somewhat interesting. We do have a higher low V1. I don't know if we quite washed that out by a quarter ATR. Microsoft, having issues up here at the third ATR channel. Netflix, I'd like to see this pull back into the value zone. Be great, especially down here at the 200-day. Nike up today, was up much higher, too high, need to pull back into value. Philip Morris made a higher high here, looking for a pullback into value, sideways movement, V1, V2. PayPal, hanging in there, just too high for me up here, need a pullback. Q's, just too high, need a pullback. Silver, back in the value zone. That's what I've been waiting for, right? Time and time again, you look up here, there's a lot of FOMO up here. Things look exciting, but in my opinion, you're better to wait for it to come back into value. Much better place to buy. Even if you didn't use a trigger, just waiting for it to come back into value would be much better place to buy. So here we are back in the value zone. If I could get this to move sideways for a little bit here, V1, V2, I would take it. Or if the 5 EMA crossed under the 20 EMA and then back over, I would take it. It's the same trade I took back here when the 5 EMA crossed over the 20, and look at that beautiful trade we had. Boom, I ran out of shares there. S&P, of course, down today. We had that slight overnight loss. V1 to the downside, rejection of the 30, rejection of the third ATR channel, rejection of the 70 RSI. So, you know, a lot of kind of bearish signals there on the S&P, I have to say. TLT, nothing there. Tesla, man, those poor shorts. I feel bad for them. I really do. Need to pull back into value. Twitter, waiting for pullback into value. United Healthcare, ooh, down. Looks like we have earnings tomorrow. We do have earnings coming up with a bunch. USO, nothing quite here. I would like to see how it reacts around the 200-day. If we could get a rejection of the 200-day, that would be pretty good. VIX is interesting. We did reject the 30 RSI today, and we've closed back over. We did reject the negative third ATR channel and closed back over. So that's a possibility. Verizon, nothing there. Walmart, nothing there. Energy Select, nothing there. Financials, V1 to the downside, nothing there. Real estate, strong yesterday. Nothing there, need to pull back into value. Utilities, we still have. Oh, look at that. Utilities went positive for us today. Sweet. Very, very nice. And healthcare. So look, we did close above the 1 ATR channel. We did come back into the value zone. We had a V1, but we had a V1 with no sideways movement. Guys, sorry, one sec. I need to move Katie around real quick. I will be back about 20 seconds. Apologize. Okay, sorry about that. Katie, always, as soon as I start speaking, that's her cue that she wants to go out. She doesn't want to go out before, and I can't let her out all day today. It's too cold. All right. So potentials for today then. Boeing, nice V1. MACD's positive, good risk to reward ratio. But did we reject the 50 RSI? God, really close. Got this big bar here. MACD is positive. Let's look on the monthly. We're in the value zone. On the weekly, hanging in there. I think I'm going to let Boeing go. Disney looks good. There's so many things here. Although it did reject the 50 RSI, so I'm going to have to wait on that one. IBB, it's a little high in the channel for me. We have this previous, let's look at here. Monthly up, weekly. I'm going to let IBB go. Look at the weekly. We're near the third ATR channel on the weekly. I just think it's a little too high, so I'm going to let that go. Merck. Monthly uptrend, weekly, better on the weekly. And VIX. So Well, let's take a look. Let's see if anybody has anything they want me to look at. Hey, Bing Hee. Nice trades today, buddy. That's our friend Bing Hee from Singapore. I went over your trades a little earlier. Very nice, buddy. Okay. Okay. I'll get to those other comments, but let me take a look at some. Who is that? TGI. Well, it's not bad. We have a V1. We have a rejection of the third ATR, negative third ATR channel. We have a rejection of the 200-day. We have a V1. But we are under 30 RSI, which is a little concerning. Generally, I'm not going to buy anything under 30 RSI. In this particular case, I might make an exception because we have this V1 rejection of the 200, rejection of the third ATR channel, and I would just, use a close below 200. It's not bad. It's not bad, Bing Hee. Do I think it's going to go up? I don't know. I mean, what I think, which doesn't matter, I think it probably will bounce here, but I think it's going to have some issues with halfway of this big bar. But it's not so bad. But if I wanted to set it as a good example for you, I would say don't buy it unless it closes over 30. Hey, JT said he did trade Beyond Meat for the first hour. Excellent, because I know you had a regular position too. Steve wins the Beyond prize. I was in at 87.76 and stopped out at 108. Fantastic. Steve says, looks like I am exiting all my positions. Oh, so KMX, Beyond, and Etsy, he's exiting. Okay, very good. Fantastic trade, Steve. Wow, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Congrats on Etsy. Absolutely. Dr. Long, UAL. Oh, UAL again. How we doing? 8 minutes. Nah, I wouldn't take this, to be honest with you, because for a lot of reasons. This is a huge reversal bar. It definitely rejected the 50 RSI. I personally would not take this. If you take it, probably a close below the 200 is where I would. Mount Doji says, thoughts on Fold, F-O-L-D. Well, that's quite strong, isn't it? It's up 10% today. I think the thing you have to ask yourself here, Mount Doji, is what's your stop going to be? Well, stop's going to be probably, maybe halfway of the washout bar. So you have from here to at least here as your stop. I guess you could use the 50, but I think this would be a more valid stop. So the question is, if you have from here to here 6% loss, do you have potential for a 12% gain? Do you have a potential for a 2-to-1 gain? I guess so. But I talked about looking at resistance, valid resistance above you. I would say the valid resistance would be the 200-day, this previous high over here. Let's look at the monthly. Monthly is sideways, weekly. Well, obviously I can't tell you what to do, but I think the risk to reward doesn't look so great. It's great price action, bullish engulfing, V1, all sorts of stuff like that. But whether your risk to reward makes sense here is something you're going to have to answer yourself there, Mount Doji. Me personally, I probably wouldn't take it, but that's just me. Okay, let's take a look-see. Shoot, Disney's looking worse and worse now. I'm gonna. This is a tough one. This is a very tough one. Well, now it's at 50. Merck really hasn't done much all day long. VIX, Yeah. So listen, I'm going to buy a quarter position of VIX, not 10%, not 5%, but 2.5%, because VIX is such a big mover. I am going to buy 1/2 position of, or a 1/4 position of VIX, and I am going to buy a full position of Disney at the end of the day. So that's the deal. We have 5 minutes left. Okay. So I'm going to come over here. Like I said, I'm not buying, I'm buying a quarter position in VIX today, not a full position. I'm buying a quarter position because it's such a huge mover and so volatile. But I do like, you know, the confluence of the market reversing. I do like the bounce off of the negative third ATR channel, the one and the under 30, over 30. And in addition to that, we have a pretty big double bottom with the bullish divergence. Here's the previous low with this deep reading here. We rallied it into green. Now we've made a lower low. This is less than half of this. So we have a bullish MACD divergence, and we had a rejection of the third ATR channel, and we had a rejection of the 30 RSI. So, but on the conservative sides, I'm only buying a 1/4 position. So let's take a look. What do we have? 5 minutes left. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and buy the VIX here. Quarter position. Quarter position over here. Okay. All right, where did we get filled there? We got filled at 1367 on the VIX. Of course, I'm buying the S&P after the close, or at the close, excuse me. If Disney closes over the 50, I'm going to buy it. If it doesn't, I'm not going to buy it. It's as simple as that. I hate to do it. I was really looking forward to that, but again, trying to set a good example, it has rejected the 50 RSI. Right now it's at 49.82. So I have 2 minutes here. I'm going to have to watch it carefully. Yeah, and I talked about folds for Mount Doji. I just think the risk to reward doesn't work here, but that's just my opinion, Mount Doji, right? I'm the same guy that didn't like the risk to reward on Beyond Meat, so you know, just trying to give you my best opinion doesn't always mean it's going to be right. Well, Disney's getting close. All right, 1 minute. If it doesn't close over 50 RSI, I'm not going to buy it, guys and girls. I do like this setup. I like that it's up on a down day. Oh, now it's close. Man, I'm really glad XLU's up today. God, we might hit a profit target. Oh, doesn't look right. Doesn't look like it's going to get there. Oh, it's there. I got it. Oh, look at that, everybody. Woo! All right. So some buyers did come in at the very last second. 145.22 is where I got Disney. I got VIX at 1367. It didn't feel like I was going to have a position ever. All right. I'm glad. I guess you guys could tell I did want to buy Disney. All right. There we go. Oops. It's amazing how this came down to the halfway position of this bar. This is what I was looking for. Remember, I was waiting all this time for it to come down, and you extend out into time. It's exactly where it stopped. Unbelievable. Okay, so did buy Disney here. 145.22 right at the close there. And you know, you might say, Greg, what about if you hit the sell button and it closed at 49.99, what would you do? Well, I'd have to get up in the morning, and if it opened up, I'd keep it. If it opened down, I would immediately sell it. That's what I would do. And that happens a lot. I mean, I was lucky to get that right at the end. I had to guess, basically. I had to guess right at the end. And then VIX. VIX, I got it 1367. That's exactly where it is. Okay. Oh, shoot. Now, well, let's take a look here. 1367 is where I bought it. Right here. So my stop on VIX will be a close under 30, right? So it did reject it today. It did reject the third ATR channel, so that's all good. Disney, boy, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I could use a close under the 50, or I'm more inclined on this one to use this 50-day because it's halfway of this bar, right? This big bar, it's about halfway, so it should give some Fibonacci support there at the halfway, and also the 50-day moving average, which is significant. So that will be my stop. So from here to here is my stop. Obviously, I think it gives me more than a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio to the upside. So that's what we have. We have Disney, a new entry today. SPY. Oh, where did I get filled on SPY? 327.45. 327.45. 327.45. All right. Well, there's the new entry for SPY. Of course, I'll sell that first thing tomorrow morning. Kind of a bearish thing here. We went over 70, under 70. We reject the third ATR channel, and we had a V1 to the downside. So can I point out one more thing? It's really quite interesting here, guys. Here we have a high, here we have a high, here we have a high, here we have a high. So the price action obviously going up. So this is very important. Oh. Look at the RSI. This is an RSI divergence. This is a great example. Price going up, 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 up. Look at the levels of the RSI. Even though we're higher here, the RSI is lower. Even though we're higher here, RSI is lower than that. Even though we went higher here, RSI is lower than that. So see the slope of the RSI. Even though we're going higher, 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 higher on the price, we're going lower, lower, lower on the RSI. It's bearish. It's bearish. All right. And then XLU, look at that. Turned green for us today. Very happy for that. MACD went positive. Very nice. Almost at a profit target. So maybe we'll save that for tomorrow. And then VIX. So anyway, feel pretty good about that. I feel pretty good about that. All right. Well, listen. Oh, hey, I wanted to show you guys something. Don't look at Bitcoin very often, and I'm not recommending you trade Bitcoin, but I did want to show you. This doesn't have ATR channels or anything like that, but I can just tell we're under the ATR channel. We came back into the ATR channel. We moved sideways. Look at this nice V1 and V2 right here. I think when I was teaching Amon Solo, our first lesson was on this day, and I pointed this out. I said, if I had to buy Bitcoin, I would buy it right here with this nice V1 return to value, and then a higher low V1 in the value zone. Look at that. I guess I should have followed my own advice, right? Look at that beautiful trade. But that was the signal. So works on Bitcoin too. Okay. So listen, I'm going to go through the rest of the comments that I wasn't able to get to earlier. But before I do, just want to quickly put in my daily plug. Hope it's okay. But I just want to let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching, mentoring, and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I've had great success with my clients. I put a lot of time, a lot of energy into these classes. I teach you everything I've learned over my last 24 years as a full-time trader. I teach you everything I've learned from my mentors and coaches like Steve Burns and Dr. Alexander Elder and Carrie Lavorne and Larry Williams. And then also things I've developed along the way. So I do offer a course. It's 5 sessions. Each session is from 2 to 3 hours. So it's pretty intensive. It's pretty long, but I need that time to really be able to teach you everything from scratch. So if you've been thinking about it and you have an interest, please let me know. I think you'll be happy that you took the course. It is $1,000. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but honestly, for $1,000 to learn it, for me to teach you everything I've learned over the last 24 years, I think it's a good deal. I honestly, sincerely believe it's a great deal. So if you're interested, what I do like to do is I'd like to have, if you're interested, if you just want to kick the tires, I do like to have a Skype call with a potential student. I like to learn more about them, learn more about their trading and their challenges and their goals. Of course, they can ask me any question, but I just want to make sure we're a right fit, right? That you have kind of the same goals as what I can teach you. If you say, hey, I have 10 grand and I want to triple in a year, okay, so we're probably not a right fit. But the Skype call's free, I promise. There's no obligation. You're not going to feel any pressure whatsoever. I promise you that. But I do like to just make sure that both parties that we're a good fit for each other. So if you're interested, my email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And I'll get back to you and we could set up time for that free Skype call. So, and then secondly, if you like today's podcast, live stream, whatever we want to call it, if you feel it was valuable or that the channel is helping you, if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. I think I have 980. So I'm almost to 1,000. So that's kind of my goal. So if you haven't, I would appreciate if you would hit that. And then if you like today's podcast, if you could hit the thumbs up button on the way out or right now, that would be great because it does help promote the channel. A lot of people out there need help with trading. And it's really why I started this podcast. So you can help me help other people by just hitting the thumbs up button. So, okay, there's my daily plug. I'm sure you're annoyed to hear it every day, but I got to put it in, right? So, okay. Let me go back up to the ones that I missed here. Frank says, don't ever mention Ultra Beauty. Uh-oh, that sounds like a story. and Bing He, great trades today, my friend. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it. Great trades you had on TSE, up 2.24%. Mon Solo had a great trade on, it did close above the 200, so that's good. Had a nice trade here, Bing He had a nice trade here on IRDM, although I think it did reject the 70. So let me know if you still have that, Bing He. And then ARCO, ACCO, Bing He also had. So fantastic. So happy to see Bing He with this nice string of winners. Really glad to see that, Bing He. Oh, took profit from IRDM. Grateful for that. You took profit. So you're done. You're done with IRDM. Okay, so let's get that off. Try to clean this up. Way to go, Bing He. You've had some good setups. I've really been impressed with your setups lately. Murat says the difference is that whenever something dips, there is even more buying power coming in due to the liquidity. Top 5 stocks in the S&P right now, 18% of the whole S&P 500 in terms of market cap. Yeah, I mean Amazon and Apple, right? Google, these huge companies that are in the S&P make up 18%. 5 companies make up 18%. 495 make up the difference. So yeah, I mean, it's basically like the market is trading 5 stocks. Bing He says, okay, took IRDM, got that out of the way, very nice. Bing He says, can you take a look at TGI? I think I did that. Yep, I did do that. JT talked about taking a day trade in Beyond Meat, first hour. Way to go, JT. That's nice. Frank says Steve wins Beyond Meat prize. That's right, talked about that. Steve closed all his positions here. Okay. Bing He took TGI at 23.38. Hey, it did close above 30. Nice. 23.38. Oops. 23.38. So, you know, I like this trade. I mean, right? I mean, first of all, you want to make sure you have some kind of support underneath you. You can't just guess at a price underneath you. It doesn't make any sense, right? But the 200 does make sense. People are keying off of this. It went under it, didn't want to go down when it was under, closed back over, rejected the negative third ATR channel, had a V1. Does it mean it's going to go up? Of course not. But does it set you up with some real support underneath you that already got rejected? And does it give you a good risk to reward to the upside? Yes, it does. It does. So that, you know, that's what we're trying to repeat each day, or finding these kind of trades. So happy for Bing He. Okay, we looked at UAL and fold. JT said our high for the year, 45 current viewers. Is that right? I didn't even know that. Thanks, JT, for noticing that and letting me know. That's fantastic. That is great. Thanks, JT. Bing He says, yes, TGI crossed 30. Yep. Sweat. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it did. You know, if this were me, I'm not telling you what to do, but if this were me, I would get out with the close under the 200 day, which you would also lose the 30 RSI. Yeah, I like this setup. Mount Doji says, wowza, Disney very last minute got 50 RSI. I know. Let's look at that on the 1 minute chart and see what that looked like. I was literally lucky to take it. We'll see how lucky I am tomorrow. when it yeah, look at that. And a pretty sweet looking higher low V1 to boot on the 1 minute chart, right? Guys, look at the last minute of trading. You know, I always talk about how the last minute of trading is where all the volume comes in. Well, look, I mean, with, I don't know, 40 or 50 or 30 minutes to go, I mean, look at the volume, just kind of the average volume, and then look at the difference in that last minute. I'm telling you, this is where the big size comes in, whether it's Disney or Apple, right? That last minute is really where it comes from. Look at the last minute on SPY. See, that's where the professionals, that's where the big money comes in at the end of the day. So, yeah, Disney rallied strong there to give us that 30 RSI. Oh, Steve says a trading haiku by Holly. Traders live and breathe. Markets gather all the signals. Practicing patience is the way. So I think a haiku has to have 3. Sorry, I'm probably not a good haiku reader. Traders live and breathe. Markets gather all the signals. Practicing patience is the way. Sounds good. Traders live and breathe. Markets gathering all the signals. Practicing patience is the way. So true. Very nice, Holly. Very nice. Who knew we were going to turn this channel into a poem and haiku channel? Huh? Have to put that in the keywords. I'm telling you, trading poems, trading haikus, this could be the start of something big. This could be the start. John says GBTC is Bitcoin. Yes, that is correct. I showed you the chart earlier. Did I call it something else? But I meant Bitcoin. Christopher says, Greg, are the tradings recorded? Yes, Christopher, they are. We do it on Skype, and I make sure that you as soon as we start the Skype call, you record it. So, and then after the lesson's done, it downloads. You just right-click on it, and you put it on your desktop. So yes, the lessons are recorded. And as a matter of fact, you know, when we take these lessons, or if you take the lessons, I prefer to do them at the very most every other day. I don't like to do them day after day, you know, one day to the next, because I like to do the lesson with you, like to record the lesson. You're listening to me, you're having to think, but then the next day I think ideally, and I have found this for my students that it's helpful, that so you take a live lesson with me one day, the next day you re-watch the entire lesson, but as kind of a third party. And I've had every student tell me, I get so much when I just sit back and watch our lesson. I usually yell at myself and go, why are you taking such a long time to answer Greg's question? Like when you're watching it in third person, it's quick. But of course, when you're doing it in real time, you're more kind of under pressure cooker, right? Because I'm asking you questions. But yes, they are recorded for sure, and you can watch them as many times as you want. Steve says, hey, Greg, your advice and counsel is invaluable. Everyone should want to learn from someone with your abilities and thoughtful nature. Hey, thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. Wait, did I read it right? Let me read it again. Hey, Greg, your advice and counsel is invaluable. Everyone should want to learn from someone with your abilities and thoughtful nature. It sounded so good the first time, I wanted to read it the second time. Thank you, my friend. That means a ton coming from you. Thank you, Steve. And listen, a lot of what I teach, I learned from Steve. I'm telling you what, I learned a lot. I would say 75% of what I do, I learned from Steve. So I'm eternally grateful to Steve and value his friendship as well. Now, Doji says, I got into Disney as well. Oh, did you? All right. Well, let's see. I already have Disney over here. So let's put Mr. Mount Doji over here so we know we're teammates. All right, go Disney. Do we know what's going up? No, we have no clue in reality. You know, when I take an overnight SPY trade, I can promise you from the bottom of my heart, I never think, this is going to go up. I have no clue. You know, Mark Rogers or Mark Douglas, I always forget this, right? Trading in the Zone. He said, think about trading as, you know, a slot machine. Have you ever played a slot machine? Yeah, of course. You go, you put the dollar in, you pull the handle. Do you really expect it to win? I don't. Do I think something's going to happen when I pull the handle? For sure, something's going to happen. I know that, right? We put a trade on. Do I think it's going to go up? I really don't think. I really have no clue if it's going to go up. But do I think something's going to happen the next day? 100%, right? But I guess I have to be honest. When I take a trade, a normal trade, I think I have a little bit of a kind of like, that's a pretty good trade, might go up. But when I take an overnight SPY trade, I have no opinion on it whatsoever. There's no part of me that thinks, I think that's going up tomorrow. I really don't. And honestly, that's how we should be on all trades. So, you know, do I think Walt Disney's going up? I have no idea. All I know is if I'm wrong, I'm going to be wrong quick and hopefully small. And if I'm right, I might run into a big win, right? Hey, Brian Schwartz, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Amazon. Yeah, Amazon has been underperforming quite a bit lately. I am really waiting for Amazon. Look, here we have this big bar, right? This similar to Disney, right? Had this big bar, should hold about 50%. If we extend that out, look at that, dovetails nicely with the 200-day in the value zone. So right in here, in my opinion, is the sweet spot to buy Amazon because it lines up on both the 200 and the halfway, right? And back in the value zone. Would you mind saying your Disney stop again? Yeah. So this is one of those trades, Ryan, that I kind of have to look at the big picture. Look, it's 50 RSI, right? So I could use a close under the 50. Okay, that's fine. I think the more valid stop on this, though, based upon the context, is we have this big bar up on big volume. It should have some theoretical support at the halfway from here to here. That lines up nicely with the 50-day moving average. And, the 50-day moving average is a key moving average. We don't talk about it a lot, but it's kind of the first, area that especially large institutions kind of key off of. So if tomorrow we close below this combination of the halfway of this bar, which is right here, which also dovetails with the 50. So another way to put it is basically if we close below the 50-day moving average tomorrow, or below the halfway of this bar, that will be my stop. Does that help, Ryan? And it's good to see you, bud. Bing He says Trading View shows Disney's close under 50. Oh, really? Well, some charting platforms take into consideration after the market closes, like 3 minutes, 5 minutes or whatever, after the market closes, like, Disney might close at 145.20, but then after market, it might be 145.11 or something like that. I know that Trade Navigator does this sometimes, especially with VIX, but oh well, what do I do, right? I said it was going to have to be 50 or above, and that's where it closed. So I did take it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Christopher says I'm in Disney as well. Okay. I think Disney had I think the news was that they had like 44 million subscribers so far on Disney Plus. Christopher H. All right, you're on the board, Chris. Welcome to the Disney Club. Like Mouseketeers over here, right? Growing up, my mother immigrated here from Switzerland, and my sister, who was born in Switzerland, she came with her. This was like in the early 60s. My sister did a lot of movies for Disney. Worked with Kurt Russell a lot. My mother used to take her to Disney, of course, because of her movies. I was just a baby, and I was told, I don't remember this, but I was told that Mr. Walt Disney, would come and kind of mingle with everyone there at Disney at the lunchroom. And so I guess I met Walt Disney many times. He'd carry me as a baby and talk to my mom and so forth. Another interesting thing too, you guys know the movie Sound of Music? My sister almost got the part as Isabella in Sound of Music. The reason she didn't, she had a bit of a strong accent because she had just moved here from Switzerland, and so it didn't match the other kids' accent. So otherwise, I could have said my sister was in the Sound of Music. But anyway, why did I get onto that? Oh yeah, because we were talking about Disney. JT says, already have Disney with the covered call. Oh, okay. So you own the stock and you sold a call above it, JT? Dr. Long says, good night, everyone. Good night, Doc. Good seeing you, my friend. Thank you for coming. Brian Schwartz says, thanks, you are welcome, Brian. Ryan says, yep, thanks, you are welcome, Ryan. Yeah, 44 million. Christopher says, I used to live in Switzerland. Did you really? Interesting. I've actually been speaking to the Swiss consulate, Chris, because it looks like I would be able to get Swiss citizenship if I want to, because my mother was Swiss. So interesting. You know what? One of the requirements to get dual citizenship is that I have to know some people in Switzerland, which I really don't. I had my relatives, but they're all passed away. So actually, maybe Christopher, you and I could talk about that, and maybe you could introduce me to a few people in Switzerland, because that would help with my application in Zurich. Very good. When I worked for Glencore. Oh, interesting. JT used to work for Disney. How about that? How about that? Okay, so what's happening after hours here? Disney is basically flat. S&P's up a little bit. That's good. VIX is flat. And all right. Well, finally got a position today. Couple positions, I guess. Disney and VIX. Okay, so we had a record today, 45 people. Thank you so much, JT, for looking out for that. Really appreciate it. It's, for some reason, I never really see that when I'm doing this. Like, I don't have really time to look over there. I guess I do, but for some reason I don't like internalize it or process it. Oh, Zug is down from Zurich, about 20 minutes on train. I see. Interesting. Did you enjoy living there, Christopher? Do you like the Swiss people? Oh, amazing place to live. Okay. All right. So listen, if anybody has any other questions, please let me know. If you'd like me to take a look at any other stocks, please let me know. Otherwise, going to get on my hiking boots, go out and tromp around in the snow with Katie. So where did we actually end up? So the Dow was down 32 points, NASDAQ down 22, S&P down 5. So a little bit of a down day for me today, which is fine. Like I said, I'm just kind of here in limbo waiting for some setups to come. And, you know, I was talking earlier about my filters, not taking trades. Look, if the market just kept roaring up, I'm just going to have to be good with that, right? And cheer you guys on, right? Because, you know, you have to stick to your signals. You can't just throw in the towel and go, oh, it's going up, I don't want it to take off without me. I mean, right? That's FOMO, all right? That is FOMO. I was even considering writing some bearish credit spreads, but even that wouldn't have worked. Okay, well, listen, I guess that's about it. Two things before we go. Number one, I mention this each day, but please go out, try to do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a wave or, hey, how's it going? Hold the door open, you know, share some of your Skittles with them. I don't know. Just something nice. It really may make a monumental change in their day. It might just really make their day if someone does a little kindness for them, right? We need a lot more of that in this world. Everything's so divided, you know. We need to come back, and just making that one little effort each day, it really could make their day, and could make your day as well, right? So please try to do something nice for somebody each day. And then two, if you could, on the way out here, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, I would really appreciate that as well. That could be your first kind thing you do today, is hitting that thumbs up button. So all right, well, Interesting day today. Be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Did add Disney today and added just a little sprinkle of VIX as well. And really glad to see XLU reverse course for us today. Good to see that. So, all right. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Hope to see you tomorrow. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.